Chelsea 2, Aston Villa 2, but it could have been 3-2 if it weren't for VAR. I've had enough of woke ball. It's barely a nudge from Badiashile. I'm not going to lie, I didn't even really celebrate it because I knew. I saw that little slight nudge, and even though Disasi was losing it and there were limbs going on, you just knew that was going to happen. You knew it was going to get ruined. But there's some positives to this game, there's some negatives to this game. The positives are, I liked that we showed some fight in the second half. I would have thought, after a 5-0 loss to Arsenal, they'd have been on it. They'd have gone into that game knowing, let's absolutely smash these. Let's have them. We smashed these a few months ago in the FA Cup. I know they're a good side, Villa, but like, come on, let's be on it. I know we got injuries, but we still had a decent-ish starting 11. And with the will and desire that we can show, we can be on it and we can beat these. We are capable of beating these because we played them 4 times this season. And we've tended to be the better team in every game. Even though we lost that first one, 2-0 at the Bridge, we're very on top of them. This game, we were the better of the 2 sides, the 2 FA Cup games, so we are capable of doing that. And within the first 3 minutes, we conceded a goal, as we did at Arsenal. So no learning there. And I thought in the first half in particular, it was a real tale of 2 differing managers. You've got Unai Emery, who came in to an Aston Villa side where Gerrard was on the brink of the sack. Or he was sacked, rather. Unai Emery came in when he was sacked, and they were on the brink of relegation. Or, you know, they were flirting with relegation earlier in the season, and that was around the same time we sacked Tuchel. Now, that shows the plight of us as a club and the rise of Aston Villa as a club, because they've had a manager there who implemented a plan from day one. You know how Villa play. Pace on the break. They'll sit in. They don't mind. They'll play a bit of a high line when they need to. That's how Villa have an identity. They have players that understand what they need to do in each role. We don't have that. We're freestyling out there. I mean, even the second half, as much as we grew into the game, and I'm glad we did, when Villa kind of were off it a little bit, Cucurella was sort of just free-rolling everywhere. Like, it really was indicative of how both sides are sort of managed. And in that first half, yeah, it really killed us. We had all the ball, but it's meaningless. They were comfortable defending against us. Yes, okay, we have a goal ruled out for offside. Great finish from Jackson, but tad off, his toenails off, whatever. And then he did have a header, which he should have scored. Jackson, another gilt-edged chance that he didn't put away. He does need to start finishing his dinner. Even though he's bald, it didn't improve his heading. But then, Villa had not left their half for half an hour. They had not left their half for half an hour. They got the other end and they score immediately. And the tracking from Mudryk is really poor. And we need to talk about Mudryk. We do need to address it. He was up there with Bakayoko tonight. I think he was up there. Maybe not Bakayoko level, but Bakayoko Watford, this was a winger version of that. I mean, shooting towards corner flags, giving the ball away at will. I even noticed in the second half, I'm not going to lie, because I think it was a tactic that actually proved quite successful. It was almost like the team decided, just don't give him the ball. Like, there was a number of times where I saw Gallagher kind of look over to the left and actually go, nah, you know what, fuck it, mate, you're good. I'll go to the right. And we got a lot more joy with down Madueke's side in that second half. It's not good in terms of what's showing from his confidence. And when it comes to Mudryk, it's very apparent to me. Look, he has some real gifted athletic traits. There are aspects of him I like where he shows flashes of brilliance, but he does not possess a footballing brain a lot of the time, particularly off the ball. And that was apparent against Arsenal, and that was very apparent actually on the second goal, I thought, tonight. Now, that will require the most arduous tactical instruction to get in his head. Do you remember when Mourinho spoke about Luke Shaw? I remember Luke Shaw had a really good performance actually for Manchester United in Mourinho's maybe first season. And Mourinho said to the match, he was like, no, he played with my brain. The whole time I was telling him exactly what to do. That's what Mykhailo Mudryk needs. And he's not going to receive that from Poch, because Poch is not tactically astute like some of the top elite managers in world football, as shown from a lot of our performances. They're freestyled. Like, what is our plan? What is our identity? We don't really have one. So the idea of an individual knowing exactly what to do, just basics like tracking your man, I don't know if that's a laziness thing or just pure lack of concentration, but either way, that's not the standard that you need to be if you're playing high elite level football. It doesn't matter how many gifted traits Mudryk has, and I like him for that, but yeah, a lot of work needs to be done with him, because he looked so far off the pace, and he does have those games where he just looks really out of his depth in terms of just basic concentration, or in terms of an understanding of when to make a run in behind, when to come short, when to not just go inside, like in your own half. You receive with your back to goal, and he'll sometimes just make a touch to go inside, and you'll lose it there in a dangerous area. Like, he does so many naive things, and it is a concern for me. It's a big concern as well, because I don't believe we have someone at the helm that can alter that. Anyway, in that second half, we did grow into the game, and I liked that. I liked that we saw some fight. That first half was shoddy, to say the least, and to let in 2 goals from them going forward twice was pretty mind-blowing, but not surprising when it comes to Chelsea. In the second half, the pressing was there, and we actually forced an error from another team pissing around at the back. Usually it's us. I feel like we give away so many chances, goals from pissing around at the back. And it was this time, it was our time to capitalise on that. Conor Gallagher was at the epicentre of both goals tonight, winning that ball and then playing it to Palmer, who played across to him, who then, I thought Gallagher would have won a penalty, but it didn't matter because Mudryk stroked it home, past Olsen, who'd come on for Martinez. I don't know, Martinez too busy humping the air and pulled his hamstring or something. And then our tails were up. Our tails were really up, and Villa, you could sense the nerves. Obviously, this was a big game for them in terms of their Champions League fight. Another negative, we've helped Spurs with this result tonight, but anyway, it was only a matter of time it felt that we were going to score, and Gallagher produces a left-footed great strike into the far top corner of the left post. I was shocked. I didn't know he had down the locker, particularly on his left foot, but well in Gallagher. It could have been 3. It should have been 3. It should have been 3 because Palmer gifted the ball by their defender, pissing around at the back again, like 92nd, 93rd minute, takes it past 2 defenders brilliantly, just has the keeper to beat, and he didn't. And you'd have put your house on, if anyone was going to put it away for Chelsea, it would have been Cole Palmer. But it wasn't really his night. Like I said, we had 2 goals, 2 great left-footed strikes, and neither of them were Palmer, which is, yeah, that's a weird thing in itself. But then Disasi scores, and Woke Ball have decided that is not a goal because there's a slight nudge from Badiashile. It is a slight nudge, but like, grow up, guys. Grow the fuck up. Come on, it's football. It's a contact sport. Let's get on with it. Would I be saying it shouldn't be a goal if it was the other way around? Abso-fucking-lutely. I'd be saying that he nudged him and it definitely shouldn't be a goal. But, you know, as football fans, fickle hypocrites, like, get on with it. Come on. Give the goal. Just give the goal. It would have been scenes. Let them enjoy let Chelsea fans enjoy the limbs. Let's have a nice moment there. A big turnaround. It would have been shocking for Villa. It's already shocking for Villa, I think, to be 2-0 up against us. But, yeah, we can score goals as much as we don't finish our dinner. But defensively at the moment, we let in so many goals. I saw a statistic that it is the most goals we've conceded since the 91-92 season. And a draw tonight, okay, it keeps our European hopes alive of getting Conference League or whatever. This could be the second consecutive season of not being in Europe, which hasn't happened since 95 to 97. So that's almost 30 years. I pointed out the other day, this will be 2 seasons without a trophy, which never happened under Abramovich. If we missed a season not winning a trophy, we always won one the next year. That's not happening. Like I said, the Europe, that's unprecedented for almost 30 years. It's a concern with these owners. And like I said, I know we've ended up getting a result tonight. I just don't see the point in this. I don't see the point in continuing with this manager. And I'm not shirking any blame away from some of these players. A lot of them are very average. A lot of them aren't good enough. And there are a number with potential that I do like. And I do think with the right manager, that's profiling them correctly and putting them in the right system so they know everything to a T of where to be and when to receive the ball, how to receive the ball. If they had all of that, they'd be a lot better. Even the average ones. I thought we looked so lost in that first half. And honestly, if it weren't for Villa kind of pissing around the back, and you can give credit to that press, I get that, but that's something Gallagher's always been very good at, I think, anyway. Maybe I'm being harsh. I just don't think it changes anything in terms of us going forward. That's still, it's a draw. It's a draw to Villa. Like we did beat them the other month. It's not some groundbreaking result. It would have been nice if Disasi had got that goal, but the position that we found ourselves in the first half, I can't understand that. I can't understand how a team loses 5-0 at Arsenal, courtesy of letting an early goal in as well, and doesn't start the game just razor sharp. I can't understand that. And I'm just sat there questioning, particularly when I looked at that first half with Villa. This is a team that are in a semi-final of Europe. Since Emery's been there, like I said, they've had a plan in place from the get-go. They've had patterns in play from the get-go. Players know what they need to do. They've been in form last season from when he took over to be around 4th place, and they're doing the exact same this season. But we're supposed to sit there and go, no, Poch needs time. Why? As Chelsea fans, we've seen it with Tuchel come into a squad that Lampard was 9th with. He didn't need time. Top elite managers they need time to get to a different, an astronomical level. But when you've got a decent set of players, they can still do a decent job. But we're not seeing that. And we're not seeing anything growing in terms of how we play. What is the plan? And what I was going to touch on, the fact that they are in the semi-finals of Europe. They've had Europe all season, Villa. They have less time on the training ground than we do. We've had no Europe all year, and we don't. I just wonder, what is going on the training ground? What are they doing? because it was very apparent to me today in terms of the response in that first half. Okay, well, we know that there's going to be no tactical progression because we've not seen any of that anyway, so we're very aware that that's not going to suddenly be there. So is it a psychological or emotional thing? Is that what we're trying to improve? Because that isn't happening either. We're letting it go after 3 minutes. When we're in a game where we need to respond, you need to send out a message and go, we fucked up the other night. That was dreadful. That's one of the worst results in Chelsea's history. We need to amend that. 3 minutes in, you're 1-0 down. Like, it's all well and good praising that second half, but as a complete 90, and as a complete response, I don't think anyone should be satisfied. I think it's satisfying to come back from 2-0, so I have mixed emotions in that sense, but I'm trying to be objective with it, and realistically, this is still... none of it's still good enough. It's not good enough, flat out. But yeah, it's better than losing. It's better than losing. It gives us a bit of serotonin. We'll take that. On to the next one. We've got Spurs at home. That could be very interesting. Let's see how if they continue to respond. Let's see how it goes. Anyway, other Chelsea guys.